What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Xman Co. Today we're going to cook a beautiful 3.5 pound, 1.4 kilogram T-bone. We're going to do low and slow reverse sear. We've done one of these before, but it was a 5 pounder and we've done it on the open fire. Today we're going to use the pizza oven. Just to this side of this lateral bone you've got your fillet side. Now a porterhouse would have at least 2 inches, which is about 50 mils. From the bone to the outside. That will make this a porterhouse. As you can see, the fillet is very small on this side, and therefore this is a T-bone. Your strip loin and your fillet. Very straightforward. With that out the way, let's get straight into this cook. Let me introduce you guys to all the ingredients we have here today. Over here we got some butter and garlic, which we're going to turn into a garlic buttery type of paste. We've got some spring onions over here, creamy blue cheese, molded type, medium soft. We've got some cheddar cheese here as well, medium-sized brown mushrooms. We've got our favorite spice over here, mixed with a little bit of peri-peri spice as well, just for a kick. Then we've got some ground pepper over here and sea salt. Let's prep this T-bone for the pizza oven. So a few things that we need to mention to you guys is that we're going to do this in the pizza oven today. You could do this in your Weber, you could do it at home in your oven. It will be exactly the same method. So we want to keep it low, 300 degrees Fahrenheit, about 148 degrees Celsius for the local guys. You want to do that to internal temp of about 120 max, and thereafter we're going to put it on high heat for about 3 minutes aside, just to get some sear marks. If you're going to use a skillet in your kitchen, then you want to do about 90 seconds aside, just to get nice crispy crust on the outside. For those guys with pizza ovens, I'll leave a link for you somewhere here left or right, just to show you, if you're interested, how to maintain your pizza oven, how to start a fire. We've started the fire already this morning, about 2 hours ago. It's going to be without any coals. We're just going to use the retained heat from the brick, about 150 degrees Celsius. I reckon it's going to take about 35 minutes. Thereafter, we're going to take it out and then sear this beautiful beast. Just a big shout out for all of you guys that subscribed lately. We really appreciate you. We can't do this without you. If you're still watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Join us on our future cooks and our journey that we're on. On all our socials, you're welcome to follow us as well. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just look us up and give us a thumbs up. What we need to make sure is that we cut all the dead ends off. I want to trim it a little bit over there. If the fat is too much for you, then you can also trim it over here. Just cut it like that. I'm not going to cut this fat. I'm quite happy with the amount that we have here. And fat is flavor in my eyes. Looking good. We don't need to trim it anymore. What we like to do now is to add a little bit of olive oil, just as our sticking agent. So I'm just going to put a little bit on there, just so that our spices sticks nicely to this piece of meat. We want to almost try and overspice it. You can't really overspice this huge T-bone, but if you can call it that, that's what we're aiming for. It's a big chunk of meat, so don't be scared or shy to spice it all the way. It's also very important to make sure that your T-bone is properly room temperature before you start working with it. Any coldness inside below room temperature will interfere with your cook and also can be a hazard as to being healthy, as it will be undercooked, way undercooked, not even rare in the middle once you're done. So it's very important to make sure that you have it room temperature before you work with your meat. There's some salt in this barbecue spice that we've been using, so therefore you don't have to add much salt. We still like to add a little bit, so I'm going to do that. Obviously what you do on one side, you want to do on the other side, and then everything gets pepper. I just love the ground pepper. So once you've done all of that, your barbecue spice, salt, pepper, this bad boy is ready for the oven. Whenever working with a big thick piece of meat like we're doing here today, you want to consider doing reverse sear, meaning low and slow, and the lower you can go for a longer period, the better. It's just going to be more tender and it's going to be more even, the whole cook throughout. It's very easy to put lots of heat there and just get it over and done quickly, but you're going to miss the whole point and not going to be as tender and delicious as you would hope it to be. Working with a T-bone this size or a porterhouse, you've got an element. A lot of oaks do not realize that. So the bone is your element and it's going to cook from the bone, from the inside, right in the middle, towards the outside. And therefore we put this T-bone on the bone at the bottom upright, and it's going to stay like that throughout this whole exercise. I'm going to add very little bit of oil to our skillet. Basically just want to make sure that the T-bone doesn't stick to the skillet. We're going to track the progress of this cook with a meter plus thermometer. Just going to add it to the thickest part of this meat, and this will hopefully help us to see when to remove this beautiful T-bone. I reckon the T-bone is going to take about 35 to 40 minutes inside the oven. We'll see you guys in a bit. We're about 15 minutes in this cook, and we decided to get our brown mushrooms ready. So let's prep them, and then the last 10 minutes we're just going to put it in that oven so the whole dish comes together so we can enjoy this. Let's do this. Right, so what you want to do is just remove the stem of your brown mushroom, which is right in the middle. You can use a spoon for that, or you can use a knife, whatever works best for you. Doesn't have to be fancy, just like that is perfect. You basically want to make space for all your ingredients that's going to go inside, and I'll tell you what, this is really a fantastic add-on to any braai or barbecue that you might have. The part of our filling, we want to use a dollop of butter, so I would say about 3 tablespoons. I've also got some crushed garlic here. You don't have to use garlic for you guys that don't like garlic. Otherwise, just a heaped teaspoon is perfect. Some spring onion, chopped more or less finely. Some pepper and some salt to taste. What you want to do is just mix all of that together. It will help if your butter is slightly warm or heated up, so it's a bit more runny, but this will also work. You basically want to make sure that all the ingredients are nicely mixed together and ready to go into these beautiful brown mushrooms. So there you go, just a dollop of your mixture in each of these brown mushrooms. It's going to get runny, so we'll get smaller. Basically, you can press your garlic butter nice and tightly in there. So you could cut little cubes of cheese, add it to your mushrooms. We're just going to grate it. It's going to go like this. Don't be shy. Put enough of the cheese on there. Next, we want to add our creamy blue mold cheese. Now, this cheese does change dramatically through the cooking process and won't be that strong for the guys that's worried about it. For you guys that don't like it, experiment, use something else. Any other cheese that you might like, you can add, or even cream cheese will do the trick. Right guys, it's been about 30 minutes of this cook, and I think it's time for our mushrooms. If you really want to at the end, you can also add some more cheese and it will melt in your plate and just bring more flavor to the party. That looks absolutely divine. As you guys can see, our degrees, it's about 140, just below 300 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to remove the T-bone now. It's been about 45 minutes. We're going to leave the brown mushrooms behind while the T-bone rests for 10 minutes. Guys, the T-bone has rested for about 10-11 minutes. It's time to put our T-bone on this grill. What we're going to do is 3 minutes aside, basically 90 seconds, turn it 90 degrees, and then another 90 seconds each side. Please note that this T-bone is not on a grate, so searing marks might be a little bit hard to get on this side. And I just want to render the fat slightly, so I'm going to give it a few seconds on the fat. Guys, that moment that we've been waiting for to cut into this beautiful piece of meat. Sear 3 minutes aside in the pizza oven. Before that, for about 45 minutes. I think it's going to be beautiful. Let's do this. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see, but that's a perfect medium rare. Fantastic. That looks delicious. Look at the juices. Just look there. Note obviously where you have thinner parts of the meat, it will be a little bit more done than the rest. That will always be the case. How's that voice? I'm so excited, I hope you guys are too. We've got a beautiful cut of meat here, a T-bone, and we've got 2 brown mushrooms with nice cheese and ingredients inside that's just going to make everything good. Let's try this out. I don't know if you guys can see. It's a beautiful color. Cheers, boys and girls. Enjoy. This is beautiful. Guys, this is amazing. I always say this, but this is really, really delicious. I need to take a piece of this mushroom as well, with that blue cheese on top of it. and some spring onions right on top, as you guys saw, we sprinkled on. Enjoy. Oh wow, what a good compliment to this dish. Guys, this meat is tender, it's medium rare. You have some spots where it's a little bit more done. Obviously with any piece of meat that's smaller to one side, that's what you're gonna get. These mushrooms are absolutely divine. They're complementing this dish to the fullest. Guys, you know the story. If you like what we're doing, like, share, subscribe. Enable those notifications so you get notified as soon as we upload a new video. Thanks for watching. We cannot do this without you. We'll see you on the next one.